What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, Joshua Medlock, for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, we got some breaking news regarding Alexander, the exerciser, Usyk. Alexander, the Tyson Fury exorciser. Exor. It's not it's exorciser. He exercised, dude. Exorcised, dude, rather. Yeah, watch the video put out the other day, if you man who don't know. The video title is Leaked 4D Frames. Tyson Fury get the shaitan knock spark out of him. Yeah, his eyes are like, whoop. Yeah, his eyes are playing. He has two independent lines of sight after Usyk touches him, and both are playing Where's Wally. They're like, woo! Proper, it's a mad one, I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's tell the truth, it's mad to watch. It was mad at the time when I saw it. I was like, damn, this guy about fixing to get smoked. Didn't stop me, it didn't make me cancel the coins though. Anyway, let's get to the point here. Alexander, the exorciser, Usyk, has clapped back at Team AJ's corny looking asses and has officially requested an exemption to keep his IBF heavyweight world title for the Tyson Fury rematch, rather than being stripped for not facing his IBF mandatory challenger, Filip Hrgovic, next. So, I'm going to be consistent here as I was the other day. I ain't going to lie. Just because Usyk's on now. Just because Usyk's the baddest man on the planet. Provably. Because I watched the Fury and Wilder 2 fight, yeah, and I wasn't impressed. I watched it back. That was like Fury's big claim to fame, right? I watched it back and it was actually really sloppy. I don't know what, it's crazy. It was really, I wasn't that impressed. Watch it back yourselves. I wasn't that impressed. It was literally, watch Wilder versus Fury 2, yeah? It looked like, no joke, it looked like a disabled basketball player who was like 65 years old. It looked like Evander Holyfield. Imagine Evander Holyfield when he fought Vitor Belfort. And he was like half shot worn and old, and Wilder's got little skinny legs and he looked shot to bits. I don't know how he looked shot, but he did. He looked like, ooh. Yeah. So imagine a 65-year-old Evander, Deontay Wilder replicated a 65-year-old Evander Holyfield, who used to be a former basketball player and not a boxer. So imagine Evander Holyfield, yeah, was never a boxer. He was a basketball player instead. That's what the fight looked like. Oh, I was like, oh shit. This guy was whack. And Fury weren't much better. He was in there making a... No, it wasn't... Yeah, I was wrong, people. I'm struggling. Unless Fury proper goes for it, that's his only chance is to be hard in this fight. If he... Same as AJ, to be fair. If AJ take his big ass in there and try box with Usyk again, he gonna lose. For sure. Usyk's feet are too quick. He's too like... If you try box with him... If you try box with him, yeah, he can press you, as Fury found out, or he can sit back and just pop your head off, like he did with AJ. Yeah, AJ in the second fight didn't necessarily... He wasn't backpedaling, right? So AJ was half in the pocket. AJ was kind of like half mid-range, and it made it a closer fight. The first fight, AJ was running somewhere. So, the point is, the only way you beat Usyk, yeah, as a heavyweight, I think as a cruiserweight, you just can't beat him. That's the truth. I just don't think you can beat a cruiserweight Usyk. Although that guy Bradis did though. But Bradis, again, how did Bradis nearly beat Usyk? Oops. He didn't do it boxing with him. He did it. I'd say Bradis is a boxer puncher. Yeah, he's a boxer, puncher, pressure fighter type thing. A mixture of all three. He's not an out and out pressure fighter, come walking like carrot top. You know what I mean? One of them with fake carrot top, fake Mexican style. But he's got all the elements. That's what troubled Usyk. Chisora, same kind of thing. Chisora's an out-and-out brawler. I'd say, yeah. But again, Chisora, Bradis, the people who did the best against Usyk were never trying to box with him. Bellend did a bit of boxing with him, but it wasn't like he was troubling Usyk though. He was nicking. Bellend was nicking rounds. He wasn't pressing him though. Usyk could have done that. Them first 4 rounds of Bellew, yeah. Them first 4 rounds of Tony Bellew. Usyk could have done 30 of them rounds. Be under no illusion. Yeah? That wasn't a case of, oh, Belou's a better boxer. That was a case of Usyk was cruising at probably 50% capacity. Bellew was like 100% all in, which obviously, over a 12-round fight, yeah, most fighters will look bad. Even, let's say you're in terms of FIFA rating, let's say you're a 95 out of 100 boxer, like Usyk is, yeah? And you're in there with someone who's an 80 out of 100 boxer, like Bellew. I'd say Bellew's a 75 or an 80 out of 100, yeah? Any given 75 or 80 out of 100 rating boxer, if he goes in there and blasts it for 2 or 3 rounds, even the best boxers, if you're in there, if you're a 95 out of 100 boxer, yeah, and you're giving it 40-50% warming into a fight, and the other dude's giving it 100, just because you're like 10-15 points better than him overall, that effort, yeah, if Tony Bellew's putting double the effort you're in, it kind of makes that gap up. 100% effort of a better fighter versus 100% effort of a worse fighter beats, to some extent, a 50% effort of a better fighter. And that's what I believe the Tony Bellew thing happened. Tony Bellew was in there, 80 out of 100, 75 out of 100 FIFA rating, and he was balls to the wall, giving it all he got for 4 rounds. Usyk was in there, a 95 out of 100 dude, just sitting back going 30-40%, just touching. That's all that happened there. It wasn't a case of, because if Bellew was the better boxer, he'd have been the one that was cool in there. He'd have been the one that had Usyk pressed. He'd have been the one who had gas for days. He'd have been the one that got Usyk tired and he was fresh, right? Bellew had to make up for his not as good genetics and not as good boxing skills with raw engine power. Bellew tried to engine power it. Yeah? He was over-revving his twitch, trying to be really quick. Them things catch up with you. Clearly they did. He was gassed after 4 or 5 rounds. Done. Finished. Yeah? So, Bellew ain't that guy. So, maybe the 4 rounds, or 3 or 4 rounds, Bellew won. But Tony, if it was a 4-round fight, you might have beat him, but he won. And for all we know, I've seen Usyk in the amateurs in 3 or 4 rounds. He's rapid. And he wasn't giving you that. He was in there cruise controlling. All due respect. You was in there redlining. Stop getting it twisted like, oh, I'm the only man who could outbox Usyk. You was the only man who could go in there and do 4 rounds flat out with Usyk and then fall off. Yeah, but the point is, even in that example, to be honest, the point is you have to be aggressive at something. If you're going to box Usyk, you have to be proper going for it. And Fury did that in rounds 5 and 6. He was going for it. You can't sit back like Fury did, like AJ did. AJ and Fury's performances. Take out round 5 and 6 for Fury. Take out round 9 for AJ in the second fight. Take them 2 rounds out, yeah? I'd say the rest of the fight, from Fury and AJ's point of view, they were kind of like 70% dudes. Just kind of like cruising, and 60% dudes. You can't fight Luke Usyk like that. I'm not saying you go in there and you just thrash, but what you do, you have to have bad intentions behind your work. Fury had bad intentions for rounds 5 and 6. AJ had bad intentions in round 9. That's not consistent enough. It doesn't mean you have to do it every round. All you have to really do is, I'd say, 2 rounds win 1 of them, and every 3rd round give him the gas. Yeah, so you win 4 rounds, rounds 3, 6, 9 and 12 you win, because you're pressing him, yeah? And then you nick 1 of the other 2 rounds every time. So that'd be like you win rounds 2 and 3, rounds 4 and rounds 2 and 3, rounds 5 and 6. So yeah, you end up with 8 points. That's how you beat Usyk. Yeah? Something like that. Has to be consistently. Fury has to have rounds like 5 and 6. He needs 5 or 6 of them rounds and not 2 of them rounds. AJ needs 3 or 4 of them round 9s, not 2 of them. And as we know it, that would have won him the fight, right? If AJ had 3 more of them round 9s, he'd have won the fight. Maybe even, who knows, stop Usyk. If Fury had 5 or 6 of them round, or 5 of them round 5 and 6s, he'd have won the fight. So it wasn't enough consistency. Now, the argument is, well, YB, Usyk's kind of too cute and he'll come up with an answer. And I mean, if there's anyone who can come up with an answer, it's probably Usyk. And that's what makes it so fascinating. What I get frustrated about, though, is the fact that no one wants to do that. No one wants to go in there, and lose to Usyk, dying to win. I'm going to lose to this guy, or I'm going to die trying. Not one person's fought him in attitude, apart from Chisora. And Chisora's he's long in the tooth now. Right? But Chisora was the best example of I'm going to try and win this fight and hit this dude. And watching it back, I do think Usyk was a little bit flat. I watched that fight today again as well. I do think Usyk wasn't his best, but who can blame him? It's a bit like Bivol. When Bivol fights bums, you just don't get up for him, that's normal human nature. It's hard to be up for a fight that you know is going to be a walk in the park. So I don't count the Chisora fight, but it's an example of what can happen if you're hard. Yeah? Anyway, I've digressed. Today's video was nothing to do with that topic, to be fair. I've just somehow got onto it. Anyway, the IBF mandatory challenger, Hrgovic, Usyk's trying to stop it. But oh yeah, I remember now. I got onto this topic through saying that I want to be consistent here. Usyk, for me, he did do the same thing AJ is doing here. Yeah? When Usyk moved up from cruiserweight and all he'd fought is Chisora at that point, he was pressing for his WBO mandatory. At that time, I said, he hasn't done enough. At that time, someone like Joe Joyce, who had beat Dubois, and he beat Parker after. Yeah. I was saying, someone like Joe Joyce here, who's beat Dubois. Dubois is exponentially more primo than Chisora, especially at that time. So my argument was, how can Joe Joyce have beat Dubois and stopped him? Usyk didn't stop Chisora. So stopping Dubois, who's an undefeated fighter, is much more impressive than going life and death with Chisora. So I couldn't understand. I don't see justification. Oh well, YB, the rules say that if you're a belt holder, you get to go up and challenge. I didn't agree with it. I wanted to see. I didn't have no problem with Usyk getting his shot. I believe though, before you face the champion, you have to have done something, irrespective of I'm the champion below. Especially in a weight division like heavyweight, where it's not like a 5 pound weight jump. It's not a 5% weight jump. We're talking a 10-15% weight jump. So I'd like to have seen Usyk versus someone like Joe Joyce at the time, right? Because Usyk was taking Joe Joyce's place. And that fight at one point was being negotiated, but Joe's team dropped the ball. Now, as it happens, I'm pretty confident. In fact, I'm damn sure that Usyk... at the time, I'd have told you Joe Joyce would have blew a hole through Usyk. But the truth is, Usyk would have popped Joe's leaky-looking ass guard all around the place. Joe might have genuinely got stopped in that fight. He would have been bust everywhere. Too slow. Oh my god. People, Tyson Fury looked slow against Usyk. AJ didn't look super slow, but he was a bit slow. Joe would look... Oh my god. People. Alexander Usyk would have made Joe Joyce look so slow. So slow. We know Joe can't fight southpaws as well. That's what we know. Joe's jab is useless against southpaws. He's one weapon. And the rest of his shots are really slow. His jab's quite pingy, but the rest of them are like, oh my god, this guy's slow as shit. So, he got popped. But at that point, after beating Joe Joyce, Usyk, you could say, he's beaten Joe Joyce, who's beaten Dubois. So essentially, Usyk's taken out Dubois and Joyce. Yeah, he's here now. He didn't. He pushed it and he got the shot. So that's the problem, you see, and that's why I mentioned consistency here, because I'm consistent. I'm not no one's fan. In this situation, I judge things on a case-by-case basis. And in this situation, I don't like the fact that Usyk gets stripped. He should never be stripped. Equally, I didn't think it was right that they were saying they were going to strip AJ to give the belt to Usyk. So unfortunately, people, when you play politics, what goes around comes around. Yeah? You wanted to strip AJ after doing nothing at heavyweight, and now you're about to get stripped. Now, obviously, from Usyk's point of view, even if he hadn't have been pushing for his shot, the rules are the rules. No one's going to change that, but there has to be some sort of class to it. Earn your shot. Yeah, earn your shot. Joe Joyce was begging for that fight. Joe Joyce was agreeing to taking 20% for that fight. When Usyk wasn't really a big name, he was nobody at that point. So, it's unfortunate. But these are the goofy rules. And if Usyk had made a stand and said, listen people, I'm legally obliged or I'm legally allowed to strip AJ the belt, but I'm not going to do that because I believe in... what do they call it? I believe in the order of command. Command of order. Order of command. Chain of command. I believe in the chain of command. And AJ is the champion. I can't strip him. I need to put myself in a position. Let me beat Joe Joyce, who at the time was a WBO kind of mandatory / interim dude. Let me beat him, and then I'm legitimately there. I've beaten Joe Joyce and Dubois, essentially, and now I'm here. Legitimately. I'm your next mandatory, legitimately. He didn't do that. He skipped the queue, and the rest is history. But he didn't do that. And now he's in the situation that AJ was in, essentially. In a political situation, which is wrong. Belts should never be won. Usyk should never get a belt from being political. Yeah? Usyk should never... AJ should never get a belt for being political. So it's come full circle now. AJ essentially... Well, if Hrgović beats AJ, that's different, but AJ's going to get a belt from politics. AJ would have lost a belt to Usyk from politics, so it's a big circle. Everything that goes around comes around, but it's unfortunate on all behalves. And I don't believe, in this case, Usyk should ever be stripped. Bottom line. AJ and Fury and all these other heavyweights are bare bums in the shower. Yeah? Bare bums. So... I'd sack these goofy belts off. Who really gives a fuck? We all know who the man is, right? Yeah? I think Turkey's made his own belt. Turkey's legitimate. He ain't making no punk fights like that. He's just not. Turkey ain't trying to make punk fights. Like the old boxing heads. The old boxing heads, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, they like to pay people. I like Anthony Yard, but for example, Anthony Yard's career, he's had 2 or 3 big fights and the rest he fight bumps. Or Barazzi, pick who you want. Barazzi's 31 years old. All he done fight bums. Yeah? I don't like that. No one likes that. What are you paying them for? It should be clean. It should be clear. Listen, you fight a good fight or you don't fight no one. There should be no market for Yard versus some bum from somewhere. There should be no bids for it. Not one person should pay for Yard versus bum. Not one person should pay Barazzi versus bum. Not one person should pay for Fraser Clark versus bum. Yeah? Now, to be fair to Fraser Clark, I think there should be like 10 fights. If you've had a big amateur career, you have 10 bum fights, and then from then on, that's the rule, 10 fights. If you can't get your shit together in 10 fights, that's on you. We ain't people, some of these men have 20, 30, look at Wilder, had 20, 30 bum fights. In the first half decent dude he boxes, he gets punched everywhere. Luis Ortiz, 60 plus years old. Stop. Yeah? But I hope this challenge here, this exception, is upheld. I don't know if it's likely though. I believe Hrgović has been mandatory for about 2 years now. And that's a long time for the IBF. The IBF usually orders things within one year. But that's the thing about the situation. It's not Usyk's fault. Why? Usyk would have fought Fury like 2 years ago. Fact. It was December, a year and a half ago. It was December 22. I believe. Or was it even before that? It might have been March 22, you know. Oh, it might have been March 22. At some point in time. Usyk was chasing Fury down. I think it probably was 2 years ago now, you know. Or either way, 2 years, 1 year, whatever, how many years it was. 18 months, let's call it that. 18 months, Usyk's been chasing Fury down. So if Fury had fought Usyk when he was supposed to, I think it was December 22. Or February 22. Well, February 23, sorry. December 22 or February 23. If he'd have fought Usyk then, and then rematch Usyk in 6 months, that means that whole Fury escapade would have been over by September 23. Which meant Hrgović would be fighting Usyk now and everything's kept nicely. But when you got Fury here, who's allegedly now about to take another year for the rematch, they're talking about 2025 now for the Fury rematch. So you know that's going to be late Q1, early Q2 at best. Yeah? For all we know, Fury's going to schedule a fight, March 2025. And then, cut my eye, let's do it in July 25. Could damn near be 18 months before the next fight with Fury and Usyk. So I get the IBS position. I get Hrgovic's position. They don't want to wait around for Fury to get injured and Fury to rock up and change dates and wait around. Equally, it's not Usyk's fault though. You know, it's not his fault that Fury's been playing around for 2 years. But again, it's not Hrgovic's fault either. Hrgović ain't getting no younger, right? Why should all these guys wait around for years? Usyk's had 2 years on his career added because of Fury, at least. Hrgović has now consequently had 2 years added before he's shot. I think the possibility here maybe is that Maybe Usyk, yeah, needs to call Tyson Fury or publicly out Tyson Fury and say to his team, listen, Team Fury, we want a date in stone today. Yeah? If you want to fight in May 2025, that's fine. I need to know. So I can fight Hrgovic in September. Or the winner of that situation, I can fight that mandatory in September. Because really, people, there's no reason Usyk shouldn't be fighting in 6 months from now. Every 6 months is a bare minimum. That will keep Usyk fresher. Usyk's getting older. He don't want to be out the ring for another year waiting for that dude, Mr. Benidorm. That's what should happen now. There should be a big public campaign. If I was Team Usyk, I'd put a press conference on and say, listen guys, we've reached out to Tyson Fury, we're waiting to hear back from him. If he wants a year off, that's fine. Or give Fury 2 options. Tyson, we either fight in 6 months from now, or we fight a year from now. You pick one, and you commit to it. Oh, by the way, we're putting a clause in to this time. If you pull out of the 6 month one, we're fining you 10 million. If you say you want to fight in 6 months and you pull out, you're going to be 10 mil. Oops. Injury or not, make sure you train properly. You're 35-year-old, you know how not to get injured. Yeah? That's what should happen right now. And then, with that proposal, or with that result, go to the IBF and say, listen, we're fighting Fury in 6 months. I guarantee 6 months from that point, I'll fight Hrgovic. Or, I'm fighting Fury a year from now, we'll fight Hrgovic in September, guaranteed. To keep these belts together. Because Usyk ain't ducking no one. He fought Dubois. Yeah? Oops. And if Dubois beats Hrgovic, it's like, what the fuck? Why is Dubois up next again? He just quit. Yeah, Usyk put Dubois' his big ass on his BLM. Yeah, we're down. He BLMing somewhere. That's what he doing. On his knees and shit. Yeah, with his big ass. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like, off the bell. 100% of that. Bye. Stop it.